they're consistent players, they're stable players. Andyan yung mga Roger Easton nila. Sometimes naglalan sa dalawang to. Actually, very similar ngayon nature ni
JP at saka ni Wise.
JP at ni Wise Pero ito magandang matchup to. Even though medyo magkaiba ng role, heart tank end support si Rafflesia at si Oh My Venus. These are the yung pillar. These players are the pillar of each team, respective teams. No, Rafflesia, siya yung enabler ng plays ng Aura PH and Oh My Venus for the longest time. Ito yung titignan mo kung gusto mo maging support talaga. Ito yung key example kung gusto mo maging support player.
#how to support.
How to support, diba? Farsa, mga Sicilian, Reynang, diba? Yung play ni Venus dito, what I like about it is that it revolves around the movements of his teammates.
Right.
And si Rafflesia naman baliktad. Yung movements si Rafflesia, yung kakampi niya, yung gumagamit. So alam mo, medyo contrasting yun, Contrasting yung idea, pero it's what makes naman sa Onyx PH. Yung kakampi niya, yung gumagamit. So alam mo, medyo contrasting yun, Contrasting yung idea, pero it's what makes the team move. Ito yung identity ng Aura. Si Rafflesia nagpapadala niyan. Si Oh My Venus naman sa Onyx PH.
And that is one of the matchups to look out for. Battle of the supports. One in the front line, one in the back line, potentially, depending on how Oh My Venus feels like he is going to be playing this out. Kilowash, Rafflesia, Greed, JP, Kel VJ, expect the king to be in the gold lane. Kilowash going to be going over onto the XP lane. Rafflesia with his signature tank support role. Utility support here para kay Greed. JP onto the mid lane. Now, Chin, how have you been feeling about JP's performance throughout the regular season?
Like what Midnight said, okay naman Like they're both JP and Wise are both very, very consistent. It's actually very hard to differentiate talaga yung performance ng both Aura and Onyx. So I'm not sure actually how we can actually compare them. You get what I mean?
It's not close.
For me, they're like ano yung tawag dun sa twins? Yung pero hindi sila magkamukha? Fraternal twins? Para silang ganun for me.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a telling sign because for 2 seasons in a row, we could say JP, godlike support, but now godlike carry. Pero ngayon, we can say that maybe Wise can stand toe-to-toe to him.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
A telling sign.
Although, like what Midnight said also, sorry, I want to expound on this lang. For me kasi, I was comparing yung roles sa Mobile Legends with basketball. Like with the tank being the center and the support being the point guard.
Yeah.
Okay, pero for me, if I was gonna look at Rafflesia, siya yung tank nila, di ba? Siya yung nasa tank position nila. Para siyang Magic Johnson
Yeah.
Do you know how Magic Johnson creates plays for his teammates, for the Lakers? Parang ganun si Rafflesia.
Playmaking,
Ito si Akashi, si Rafflesia. Yung talagang ini-enable niya yung zone. Kaya Aura yung true zone talaga
Dilar, J, Oh My Venus, Wise, and Diaknu. Dilar, expect that on the XP lane. Tank support for J. Utility support, the loved role of Oh My Venus. Wise in the mid lane or roaming around in the jungle and stuff. Diaknu going there into the gold lane. Alam nyo na kung saan sila pupunta sa mapa, ano ang magiging roles nila. Potentially, we might see the 6th man come into action here. We might see Renjo come into action. We might potentially see Basic come into action, and that is gonna add a whole different level to our game. Tignan naman natin ano ang magiging kailangan gawin ng mga teams natin as we look into the keys of victory. Target Venus's hero pool, establish an early game lead, draft side lane pressure heroes. You mentioned something like this, Midnight. Shut down at least one side lane and give JP draft priority. Yan ang keys to victory ng Aura.
Yeah, very strong points. Props to sa nagsulat nito. Establish early game lead. Again, ito yung key conditions talaga against Onyx PH. If you want to win against Onyx, kasi if you drag the game out, Onyx PH will naturally outmaneuver you. It is just stats, no? Talagang yung Onyx PH mas maganda yung resource control nila of the entire map. So you need to do that. Ang pinaka-importante dito is, I believe, yung point 1 and point 5. Yung target Venus hero pool and give JP draft priority. Weakest games of Onyx PH are the ones na naiipit sila sa draft pagdating kay Venus. And ang pinaka-malakas, yung strongest points naman ng Aura PH for the entire regular season was when JP was given the best possible funnel option
Oo.
for this team. Like for example, kapag first pick yung Roger and wala Natalia, or it's a perfect lane game. Pero even though may mga perfect lane game si JP, hindi ka ganun ka stellar yung performance niya. It's because of the fact na yung kalaban well prepared against the lane. Kasi nung regular season, actually kaya nga hindi na pinapansin masyado yung lane. Kasi well prepared na yung mga teams against
Right.
that. Ngayon, kaya lang lumalabas yung lane ulit. Kasi iba na yung build-up killing eh.
Right, right.
Now, let's see. Ano aba ang maging keys to victory here for Onyx PH? Secure tanks, win 2 side lanes, force JP on the marksman, execute early aggression, and surprise Aura PH.
I think, I'm sorry, gusto ko lang mag-touch up ulit dun sa keys to victory
Go ahead.
kanina ng Aura PH. Kasi I think it's very out there na isa sa mga biggest weakness nga talaga ng Onyx is the Venus pool, hero pool. Like actually siya rin mismo, like Venus is very vocal about it also na hindi talaga malalim yung
Oh yeah.
hero pool niya.
4 or 5
So,
max. 4 or 5 max.
So, yun nga, for me, kailangan nila mag-secure talaga. Kailangan na ma-secure yung... it's not here in the... yun pala, dun ba yun sa secure tanks? No. Di ba na Venus plays tanks sometimes?
Yeah,
Minsan,
kapag naiipon
support
sila.
siya.
Kapag si Jay, yung nagsisilina.
Right.
Yun yung mga times na napapatak si Venus.
So, for me, just to add to these keys to victory, feeling ko they have to secure Venus as heroes.
And there you have it. Alam na natin ang keys to victory. We know the stories leading up to it. Aura versus Onyx. Is it potentially the end of an Aura? Or maybe there is a bit of that factor na, isipin mo Onyx PH, 3 seasons in a row. Potentially, if matalo dito ang Onyx, it could be their last with a hurrah. Potentially. Not saying anything here, but it's that feeling of 3 seasons na tayo. Are we gonna still keep at it? It is a heartbreaking game. Potentially. Aura versus Onyx, what is usually our grand finals, it is the first match of the second day of the playoffs. I'm Reptar, Chin Valdez, Midnight, panel. We are done here. Let's bring it to our casters para sa draft.
Hi, Aura Page. Thanks for being fan-friendly. Aura Fire. Aura? Fire.
Aura, fire.
Aura Fire.
Aura, fire.
Aura Fire.
Aura, fire!
Aura Fire!
Hi guys, I'm Kayla Heredia, also known as K-Bear, and I'm inviting all of you to come and support Onyx PH.
Go Onyx! Hashtag all for Onyx. Hashtag all for Onyx.
Hashtag Go Onyx.
Welcome back to the Caster's Desk. Thank you so much to our panelists Des, and here we go. I'm your anchor for today here in the international stream. My name is Manjin Faldas. I am with my partner Wolfcast, and we are called The Connection for game number 1 of day number 2 of the playoffs. It is again the El Clasico. Wolf, I have one question. Are you ready for another long day?
I am not ready, but we will be ready.
Yes.
Don't worry, not ready right now, but I'm sure that eventually we will. No, just kidding.
Because you are never ready.
We are never ready.
Yes. Here we go.
Was it Spider-Man?
It was I think it was Batman.
Was Batman. Alright.
No, it was Alfred.
It was Alfred.
Yes. By the way, here we go. Going back to the topic, our panelist said this, that this is going to be a heartbreaking moment for the fans of MPL, because for the first time after 2 seasons, it's going to be an elimination game between Aura PH and Onyx PH. One has to go.
What? After this, somebody will go home. Although literally they're already at home, I
Yes.
think.
Yes, you're
Because
right.
of the pandemic. But kidding aside, this is the end of the road for the losing team. We saw yesterday that it was definitely heartbreaking, but at the same time, the fact that it is a single elimination, it brought out the best in the teams that we saw yesterday. Like, who would have thought that Blacklist International will push it against Omega, right? And who would have thought Signal Ultra in their rookie season as players will really challenge Execration to that point. So this one, it has happened before. A best of 5 series already happened twice before. It all went in favor of Aura, but this time maybe Onyx can take it. Maybe.
Maybe, because who would have thought that we're going to have this in the first round?
Round.
And of course, given the history between these two teams, I think the last week of the MPL groups, that was the first time where Onyx PH defeated Aura PH in a series.
That's
so this means that the momentum is in the hands of Onyx right now.
Yeah, well, that could be something that Onyx can use as a confidence booster, but definitely not a reason for them to be overly complacent against their opponents. This is still Aura PH. You know what? I think I agree with some of the players or some of the fans when they were saying that Aura PH was kind of distracted, was a little bit there are a lot of other things that is going on in the mind of Aura PH before.
Yeah.
And then we had a 1 week preparation, a break.
Yeah.
This actually more than a week. This will be great.
Yeah, man, this is going to be interesting because both of these teams, they prepare a lot for every fight that they do. That's why I think I've been hearing rumors of people saying, "Hey, I was gonna take it away too," because there's always this playoff Aura mode.
The playoff Aura.
But same goes with Onyx PH, especially that's what we call the Onyx Magic, right?
The Onyx Magic, indeed. There's also another magical moment that I kind of want to bring up again because this was said in the panel. They transform when they face up against each other.
Ooh.
Aura PH is totally different when they're facing up against Onyx. They're so good. That is also true with Onyx. When they're facing against Aura, it seems like they put 100% of their brain capacity.
I like your point about that because again, these guys are the so-called rivals.
Destined
rivals. And if you watch stories, if you watch anime, if you watch legendary stories about rivals, both of those guys, the opponents, they know each other so well. They know each other perfectly to the point that they know the next movements. Man, this is going to be interesting. The draft is starting right now. We are seeing Aura PH in their camera. And look at this. Starting with the Uranus, the Barretts, and the Natalia band. Meanwhile, for Onyx, what do we have here?
It's Selena and Esmeralda. You have to take note, these three heroes, that Aura PH band, these are the heroes that Onyx PH got when they won against them. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like it. I like that your point because the Selena is actually a high win rate hero if you give it in the hands of Greed.
Exactly.
Aura's Onyx ex-teammate. And then, because of that, I think Onyx PH, their plan here is that to respect every perfect hero, every strong hero for the side of Aura PH. Yeah.
So you take away all of the comfort picks, basically speaking. You can see Onyx PH now, they gave away the Yuzong. This is one of their best picks, and if you think about it, the picks of Onyx PH have been banned out, particularly on the side lanes.
Yeah.
Most particularly for Dilar. You still have the Thams, and you still have the Khalid. Now it's picked up. Khalid is a hero that wasn't really the priority yesterday. In fact, there were times that there's no pick nor ban on this hero.
The Khalid,
but
usually we see it on the fourth pick.
Exactly.
And people are using it more of a tank rather than a side lane. Just want to talk about the side lane matchup here. You've been talking about this. Erasing Glar's pool and erasing Iacno's pool. How will this affect Onyx PH?
Definitely big. Because most of them, teams just take away Venus heroes, right? They don't focus on Dilar, they don't focus on Iacno, then they get defeated. Aura PH is totally different. They know the main anchor, the main cornerstone of what makes Onyx PH successful, and that is the Oh My Venus.
Yeah, the Queen.
The Queen.
And still no heroes yet for the Queen. But speaking of support, there you go. You now have it for the side of Aura PH. The Farsa. I could therefore say that the Farsa is the most successful hero yesterday in the MPL playoffs, especially with the last series of Omega versus Blacklist International. Now in the hands of Greed, plus the Roger and the Yuzong. The first three picks right now of Aura PH is looking perfect for their squad.
That is actually amazing that you pointed out. It just makes a lot of sense against Onyx PH. And also, I like what you said about the success rate of these heroes. Farsa is really the key heroes yesterday. It lost in the last game of yesterday's matches or earlier of today's matches, by the way. But kidding aside, this is a hero that that is, how do I say this? It's plug and play. You can put it in any kind of lineup.
Yeah, and
It will make sense.
it's also an Onyx specialty, I think.
Wow.
But is that true though?
0% win rate on Greed's Farsa. It's interesting.
I think you need to double check that, Wolf.
That is actually true too.
Oh my.
Only picked twice in the group stages and
Okay.
lost both of those times.
Okay, that's quite big.
That is massive because it kind of that probably is why Onyx PH banned out Valir and Selena, and then they gave away the Farsa on the first. I mean, they could have picked that up, but they gave it to RPH, and
Because they know the stats.
they know the stats.
They did the research. Wow, this is interesting coming in from Onyx PH. I also like the Yishun Chin pick, the immediate Yishun Chin pick, so that right now, for the last few phases of the picks and bans, we're now focusing on the tanks here,
Yeah.
Wolf. So what are the priority picks and bans?
Ooh, obviously for RPH, you want to look at Kufra. It's already banned out. You want to look at Atlas. They're picked up by RPH as well. Although Atlas is not a hero that you kind of see more often.
Yep.
Hilda is surprisingly not yet picked up by RPH. I think it could be banned out now by Onyx, seen as one of the standard Reflesh heroes.
Oh, the Hilda.
Hilda was picked.
Especially right now in the Project Next meta, we have these, what do you call it, jungle invaders?
The Jungle Invaders.
The jungle
yeah.
invaders, the Natalia, the Hilda, and of course Onyx PH securing their own jungle invader, which is the Jawhead. So yeah, I think that the Hilda is open here for the side of Aura, but who knows? They could probably pick up a Popol in Kupa as well.
1-1 is going to be
Oh.
banned out by Onyx PH. They don't want to see that hero for sure.
Okay,
Okay.
one of the new trends right now, especially
The double
having
core.
the late game capability of the Project Next patch, where every game could probably go to the 18-minute mark.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if we are going to see more of these late game games, basically. And we're gonna have a
Well, I
long
hope
game,
so.
extended games.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Do you
'cause-
really hope so?
Yeah, because you want to watch action-packed games.
No, kidding aside, this matchup, you know that we've been waiting for this.
Oh.
We want to see a 5-game series.
Against
I mean, I
both of
won't
these guys.
mind casting this all throughout.
Yeah, it's gonna be explosive, man. Onyx versus Aura PH. This is the third chapter of their matchup.
Yep.
And again, guys, the story right here is that Onyx PH could actually prevent this from happening in the group stages, but they chose to win. They chose to match up with Aura PH to end the story right here, right now.
That is actually an interesting thought, an interesting insight, because it is true. If
Yeah.
if Onyx PH just gave away just literally 1 point to Aura PH, this would not have happened.
Yeah.
But Onyx PH, they know that this is a possibility. They know that if they defeated Aura in the group stages, this matchup will happen.
Yeah.
So probably they are prepared for this.
So to get rid of your biggest problem right away. There you go.
Double.
The 2-core setup
Yep.
for Aura PH. Wolf, you're kind of like tilting your head here. What's happening here? This is the first time that I've seen this from Aura PH after a long time.
Here's the thing, right? I know and I trust Link for Aura PH. And I also trust them doing the double core setup. They can do that. But with Roger and Link, that's where the question marks happen, because we've seen this before. If you start the Roger on the side lanes, it struggles heavily. That is also what happened with Onyx PH when they tried for this side lane Roger. It was bullied out against the 1-1, for example. But I guess Aura PH knows already their lane matchups. They know that the Khalid and Alice will be their matchup, so they were confident about this. So there it is, the Eudora. This is great against all of these heroes that rely heavily on the other quite squishy.
Yeah.
So you're seeing it could be easily be dealt with this Eudora.
You know, man, I like it because it's perfect for the queen.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, my Venus, for the first time,
You're
gonna
right.
choose
You're actually right.
the Eudora in the game. We've seen this from Ren Esports used by Few, and it was so successful. We also seen it in other regions as well because of the burst damage, the electric conductor passive, just
Exactly.
a massive damage output for your
100%,
team, right? 100%, especially if you have good AOEs. So, wow, in terms of early game here, I'm leaning towards Onyx PH, man, in terms of draft, but looking at the lineup, 2-core setup, that's the trend right now. It seems like it's going to be Aura PH in game 1.
We'll know. Eudora is also one thing that's also trending right now, by the way. Well, here's the thing. What we want to see here is that we will prove what is better or what is the more comfortable for both teams. Are you, if you're Aura PH, are you actually really comfortable with this kind of composition, the double core setup?
Yeah.
And maybe yes, because KLVJ is known to be a core and
Yeah.
JP is massive in the mid lane. But there was a time in Aura PH, there was a timeline where KLVJ was the mid laner and JP was the side
The
laner.
side laner.
Right?
But who knows?
Who knows right now?
Maybe this is going to be a mid laner Roger. We're
And
still
the
not sure.
Link side lane.
Side lane.
Link side lane?
We shall see. We shall see.
We shall see.
So here we go, game number 1. Boys and girls, hold on to your horses. Because it is going to be, again, another classic Aura PH versus Onyx PH. So yeah, JP is going to be the one in the mid lane with the retribution. And yep, KLBJ in the gold lane. It's actually refreshing to see KLBJ with the scary heroes right now.
That's right, that's right. But that is already also a sight to see. Look at Jay. Using the ejector not on the buff but onto JP. That might be even enough. But he will not be able to reset this. The fact that they're delaying this buff for a lot of seconds now, that's already so good. And oh my Venus is just hovering around. They gave time for Weiss, the YSS, to win.
I like it. That is, of course, again, the Project Next meta, the importance of the buffs, the importance of the jungle for the jungler heroes, because you only have one retribution in your arsenal. And again, you have this Jawhead who is just so irritating if you're up against with, especially with the ejector. Jay is at level 1, but yeah, his job is now done because look at Wise. He is now at level 4.
Yeah, and if you are seeing his matchup, it's JP on the lanes, just level 3 at this moment. Cannot even show himself in the lane so easily because he can be zapped by Oh My Venus. Look at how confident Oh My Venus is.
Yeah.
It's actually punishing JP now. Refresh is far too late with the roll.
And you know, what the more units you have in the map, the better for the Eudora. The first blood for Dlar with the Desert Tornado.
Wonderful more. Wonderful stuff. From October 27th to November 13th, log in the game and participate in the Trickster's Village event and get Halloween candies for a treasure spin. If you get 10 spins, it's a guaranteed to release the special skin, the Hammer Giant.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And also, if you send 10-26 log in MOBB, win a skin, your account and your server ID in the comment section, you'll get a chance to win a Granger Lightborn skin.
Ooh, that's great.
That's great.
That's great. Speaking of great, Wise is doing great here against JP, who is actually at level 4, and KLBJ is also level 4 here, man. It seems like the early game is going towards the side of Onyx
I want
PH.
to tell you a little bit of a story, a backstory to this. If you recall, Onyx PH was one of those teams that first tried this double core setup before the Project Next.
Ooh,
And then during the Project Next, they tried it again. It did not work because the main win condition is to not get bullied in the jungle, not get invaded.
Speaking of bullying, Aura PH bullying Jay, but here comes Raging Sandstorm counter go from Dlar, comes in with another Desert Tornado, plus the execute, getting 2 heroes. Dlar and the Dlar army is now screaming because because Onyx PH will also get the turtle.
I want to say, Dilar probably did not expect to kill Kiluwash in there. Because Kiluwash was just recalling. We can see that in the Gillette instant replay, Kiluwash knows that he needs to get out, but Dilar was there. Kiluwash thought, he actually got hit by the execute because he was nearer, but he wasn't the execute target anyways.
Yeah, Dilar just pressed that button, and then boom. Hey, I got a double kill. Wow. I did that. And now Aura PH. Look at this, man. They're behind by 1,000. And Onyx PH, they actually cleared out some of the energy shields in the top. Probably in the bot.
Yeah. Nevertheless, I think they're still confident with this Ling. They also have another core to kind of put your hands on. Then again,
so it's fine. They're still fine. It's not yet over yet.
Jay,
Oh.
the sneaky moves.
Oh.
Stealing the orange buff is actually massive at this point.
Yeah.
You're not depending on the damage output that you get, the extra damage that you get out of the orange buff, but you want to get that gold and EXP as the link. And unfortunately, that is something that was taken away from Aura PH.
Crucial steal there.
Exactly.
From Jay. One of the sneakiest players to ever play the game. But Venus trying to survive that gank from JP. So...
Oh!
Oh no, it's a trap. JP coming out as Iapnu will just cancel the toggle of the blood odds. But Jay is just doing wonders for Onyx PH right now, man.
They're just trying to stop this JP Link to actually farm. If you're looking at KLBJ, this is an interesting spell to have. It's execute instead of something like Flicker or something else. Because he knows that he needs to eliminate his opponents, but unfortunately, it's not working at this point.
He can't. Because you have a Joy and you have an Alice as your opponent. So you can't really burst someone unless it's a Eudora or probably a Yishun Shin. But as I say this, Reflection and company, they're falling low. Here comes the Black Dragon from our PH. Kilua just spinning and going around town. But can he survive this? Dragon Tail knock up? No. Wise will secure another takedown. Onyx PH, they're dominating the first 5 minutes.
So definitely dominating the first 5 minutes. They also took away the purple buff while at it, while also taking the turret. So apart from kills that they got in that middle part, they got a turret, they got a buff, they get a lot of farm right now. It's all of a sudden 5,000 gold lead for Onyx PH and Aura. They are suffering the problems of having a double core setup. The greediness of this kind of lineup is something that can easily be punished.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Look at this. In terms of items, Onyx PH now locking their BODs, their Clock of Destinies, and look at this, our PH only having the Windtalker, and that's actually an item that is quite cheap right now. But yes, it will give you damage, but unlike a BOD, which is massive, dude, Onyx PH just gangstering their way. Here is...
Speaking of gangster,
There you go, Iapnu. Blood on. The damage output, where is it? Jay is here. Reflesha with the counter go. Flowing blood out for Iapnu. Onyx PH is not giving any space for side of Aura.
Man, you can say that in all of the Alice players that we have seen in the group stages, Pedicuty was on top, but Iapnu is definitely a contender. On whether you debate, is Pedicuty better when it comes to controlling the Alice, or is it actually Iapnu? But I think Iapnu, in their victories, that was against an important opponent. I think it was NXP. Sorry, it was against.
I think against NXP or probably Omega. Or Blacklist.
That's right, and he was wonderful with that Alice.
He was. But yeah, Iapnu is saying, hey, Manjin and Wolf, I'm also a pretty good Alice player. I can definitely go in. Do the aggressive plays.
I think pretty good is an understatement. Iapnu knows the ins and outs of this hero.
He masters it. But now, Omagina is the main target. That is a nice Raging Sandstorm to save the Eudora, but it was too late. 24 seconds to the death timer. Flowing blood coming in. Iapnu, he is of course late. in the team fight. But Pleasure is already dead. One is to one exchange. But still, Onyx PH getting the purple buff and not giving this orange buff to Aura right now.
Yeah, they're just trying to make it really hard for Aura PH to get the farm. The 4 kills for Aura PH, but that was on supports. Literally just the supports. And Onyx PH really don't mind dying on Oh My Venus. No matter what happens, Eudora is real impactful even in the late game.
There you go, nice stun coming in from Miyako, but Jay comes in with the ultimate. He will eject JP and he will punch him to the face. Jay, ladies and gentlemen, getting a crucial kill once again. Now inside the base, KLBJ with a revenge kill, but that was definitely a victory for Onyx PH.
That still is a 2-1. I feel that it's a victory in a sense, but you have to take note, that's not the best case for you if you're Onyx PH. Yeah, sure, you killed JP, but you also gave Iakno and Jay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did not actually see Iakno falling
But,
down though. Yeah.
If they convert this to stealing the buffs or, preventing the link to farm, I think that's also doable. Like, right now, Oh My Venus actually went in to get that purple buff.
Oh.
So the other purple buff now belongs to Onyx PH.
Two
That
purple
means that
buffs.
they took away an important buff for the link.
Yeah, and that's dangerous in the hands of the Eudora. Oh My Venus. Man, this is actually JP still sleeping. Now 9 minutes in this battle, man. What a delay coming in from our PH. But there it goes, another team fight. Raplesha falling low. Black Dragon form, killing streak
Got
coming in
Dilar.
from Weiss. But Lar solo killing one from behind. And KLBJ and Kaluash, everyone is running for their lives. Jay popping the ejector, popping the smart missiles. Run away, KLBJ. The king, run for your life. Oh no. Hey, JP.
They cornered them!
He can't jump.
God.
He can't jump.
Triangle offense from Onyx PH! Triangle defense, I mean!
The triangle defense paid off. Onyx PH
The triangle formation!
getting every kill from every sector of the map in the top lane. And with that, converting it to the Lord Take.
Historically, Onyx PH, they haven't won against this Ling of Aura PH.
Yeah.
Ling of Aura PH, it was a stuff of the champions in MPL Season 5. It prevented Onyx PH from defeating them once again. It was a threat, constant threat, but now they know already how to stop this.
Yeah.
They know how to stop either JP or KLVJ's Ling.
And I think the panel said that as well earlier. That people are actually giving the link to JP because they already have seen the blueprint. They know how to counter it. They know every specific role of the team to answer it. And with this, man, this is a shutdown for this monstrous Ling that we know of JP.
And we can see for Onyx PH, they are going to be more conservative now. Trying to take this game away.
Yep. There you go. Speaking of taking the game away, Onyx PH will try it. Winter Truncheon from Iaknu to prevent him from dying. Kiluash is also here, but Iaknu with the flowing blood in. Mega kill from Flar once again because of Desert Tornado. Weiss, does he have the traceless though? Yes, he has. But 3 heroes are already down for the side of Aura. Weiss with another traceless. This is it. List it down. Onyx PH gets game number 1.
A very dominant fashion indeed. They know exactly what is the weakness of this kind of composition, right? We're talking about this. Onyx PH already failed with this before. The dual core setup wherein they had a jungler and a Roger in the side lanes. They know that if you just conquered the side lanes or the buffs, you can really punish this kind of greedy lineup. And that's exactly what they did. This Jawhead was a big problem for them. Eudora was a problem for them. And Weiss was just farming all throughout.
And man, Weiss is farming, but JP and KLBJ, they were struggling. They were hungry for some buffs.
Yes.
Because KLBJ was like, hey, where's my orange? And JP was like, hey, don't take my purple.
They were famished, to say the least. And that's a scary Onyx PH. But then again, man, I have to tell you, all of the series that Onyx PH and Aura PH battled with, I think it was always a game 1 victory for Onyx PH. The grand
Yeah,
finals, right?
every time.
So
Every freaking time. So it seems like our PH is downloading this.
that's
We
scary.
shall see.
That's
We shall
scary.
see, man. You know what? To be honest, I'm really expecting game number 5. So this is just the beginning. This is just an appetizer. Let us throw it away to our solo analyst for that game. Rockhard, what do you think?
On a best of 5 between Aura PH and Onyx PH. Of course, with my real phone, let's go into the item builds here for Onyx PH. I think you will notice that sobrang surplus na kadalasan ng mga gamit, especially with Wise here. 407, napakadaling sa kanya, napakadibay sa kanya to mag-farm. And so, tama yung sinabi ng kaso natin, sobrang ingat ni Wise dito, knowing na traceless lang yung kaya niyang gamitin escape. It is a retribution. A retribution na isang Shin. No, my Venus, 1, 4, and 5, that doesn't even matter. It really did a big help para sa side ng Onyx PH. And I have to say na, I think it really was a very good matchup. Maganda yung draft ng parehong teams natin. Yung something na hindi ko syempre nabanggit mula kanina. Pero talagang masabi mo na there's really something there. No? Una sa lahat, kailangan natin na pareho yung draft ng teams natin. Medyo malayo from the normal draft na ginagawa natin from the regular season. Double marksman, double carry build para sa Aura PH. At sa kabila naman, na-adapt na din ng Onyx PH ang galawan mula sa ibang rehiyon with, of course, that beautiful na Volta. Volta. Tuwa si Manjin. Hindi ko siya tumatawa kanina habang pinipik yun. At tignan natin yung post-match data naman. JP, halatang-halata na kahit 3-3-3, very safe yung KDA niya, is hirap din siya na gumalaw dito sa mapa natin. Very good effort mula sa ating mga leaders from Aura PH Killwash as well. Sir Fisha trying to control everything. As in, sila great. Todo bigay. Todo bigay. And hindi sila, they're trying their very, very best para makontrol yung mapa. Pero ang hirap talaga, lalo na si KLBJ, it really took some time for him to go online. And yung ikot ni JP around the map is very much hunted down as well by Onyx PH. Kita nyo nung dulo, sila, oh my Venus, pumapasok na sa jungle para hanapin, nasa na ba yung mga nag-farm na to? Nasa na ba? Sino ba? Kailangan nating habulin at alam nila yon. Alam nila na si JP, 4-man yun. Basically 4v5 for the first few minutes of the game. And aware sila because of that condition, because of the draft na din. Pag binato nyo, yung bet nyo yung Roger dun sa lane na yun, matagal talaga siya dun, bago siya mag-online. At wala siyang choice. Hindi mag-buckle up. Everyone, the rest of the team really did their very best. But again, it was just a little too much for Aura PH here on this game 1. And now, we can actually see here with the purple buffs claim, talagang tinodo din ng Onyx PH. Yung buffs, yung orange buffs, it was just all for the side of Onyx PH. Aware din sila na pag binigay mo naman ng blue, ng purple buffs na JP, mahihirapan sila, mas makaka-attacker naman. Huwag mong bibigay din yung purple, yung orange buff kay LBJ. So, let's go to the highlights here for this matchup. There was a lot of action early on compared to yesterday where medyo chess dito, bakbakan to the max right away. As you can see, Dilar, action kung action, meron kayong Volta, gamitin nyo yan ng mabuti. And talaga namang hirap ding ipalat ng Aura PH doon sa game na yon. As you can see, invades for days, di ba? Wala, pati yung mga buffs ng Aura PH talagang yun na yung binahayan ng Onyx. Kaya naman talaga, aside from wala kang buff, wala ding gold, kulang ding gold, it really slowed down the pace for the game. And because of that, again, Onyx PH really did come ahead. Ito si Jay, bakit para daw siyang isda na tinanggal mo na yung ulo. Ayan, this na ibigay. Pero nakapag-delay din yun na kay KLVJ ng ilang segundo. Wow. After this Lord take was taken, it was very difficult. Lalo na kulang na yung miyembro ng Aura PH dito sa base with just Creed trying to control 3 lanes almost at the same time. There's no way that they were gonna defend that. Kaya ngayon, ang magiging MVP natin si Jay. Again, worthy sacrifice sa ating tol. Si Jay here on that jawhead. Very much maganda pang invade. That's the reason why they were able to do these very aggressive invades in the first place. Talagang kayang pumasok. And that's why Jawhead sobrang taas ang priority dito sa ating MPL Season 6. ever since the Project Next match. So, I would say that this is a warm-up. We've seen this before. Onyx versus Aura, ilang season na ang naganap, mga kaibigan. Ilang season na silang dalawa talaga pang Game 5. Hanggang finals, Game 5, dulong-dulo. Diba? And I'm expecting something like that right now as well. So, support nyo nga palang Onyx PH. Scan that QR code on the bottom of your screen. Sayang naman Yeah, you gotta give them a lot of love. As well as Aura PH, who really need the support to push through after that very much Game 1 loss. No? Scan the QR codes and, of course, visit our site here, fb.com/mplph.official. Scan the QR codes. QR codes talaga yun. Ang bilis ang bilis umikot sa mga sites ngayon pag naka-QR code scanning ka lang. Tapos pwede ka pang kumuha ng rewards. Pag nag-fill ka ng survey na yan, tulungan tayo mga kaibigan. Fill up the survey, get a chance to win rewards when you scan the QR code on bottom of your screens. And meron tayong mga survey. Survey. MPL Survey 2. O diba? Yung mga bit.ly codes na yan, bit.ly link yan actually. So, go to those links and you'll get a very nice surprise. Speaking of surprise, favorite. Yung ginagawa ni Manjit, di ko kaya yun Parang, QR giveaway codes. I-claim nyo na agad. Kasi, as well, palapit ako ng palapit. Dapat tayo konti. Ayan. There you go. Claim those QR codes, claim those codes in-game para naman may konting tulong tayo sa ating mga journey sa Land of Dawn. Screenshot talaga is the way. Just copy. Diba? You guys know what to do. And of course, those are the codes for today. Game 1 pa lang. Mamadali na. Yesterday, pang matagalan, di ba? Pang Motolite. I don't care. I want to see some of that today as well. Let's go and see if we can get into Game 2 right away. Go ahead, Butters and Rogue Luna.
Shoutouts to game number 2 is already ahead. That was quick. What do you think?
I think that it's less than the average. The fastest games that we had probably was Game 1 of Blacklist International versus Omega, wherein it was the most methodical, most tactical approach. And I think that specifically for this matchup, this is something that I did not expect at all. That Onyx PH will really dominate Game 1. But then again, we talked about this. This has happened before.
Yeah.
Aura PH losing Game 1 against Sonic PH. It has happened before. It might be a different turnout in this series.
But actually, for me, man, I think that was different because it seems like Onyx really did pummeled Aura PH with that greedy draft that you said.
Yep.
So I think, is this the time for Aura PH to change that and go to plan B? Probably just go for a single hyper carry strategy and don't force that greedy strat.
Yeah, 100%. I think that you can go greedy, but not like in a Ling plus Roger combo. If it was something like Hellcurt plus a marksman or a Ling plus a marksman, like Claude would have been better instead of the Roger in that previous game. If you're talking about greed, why don't go all in? And we're not talking about the hero. Or the player, I mean. We're talking about, being so much farm heavy when it comes to your composition.
I like your point because there's a difference between these carry heroes who really needs the jungle.
Yeah.
With these heroes, like for example, Claude 1-1 who can just stay in lane and wait for the perfect opportunity to strike. What you just need to do is to farm all throughout the game. Just farm. And of course, the Roger is pseudo marksman, pseudo assassin, same as the Ling. So yeah, I get your point. Probably Aura PH can go for these marksman heroes.
Yeah, because we know that they have done that before.
Yeah.
I mean, MPL Season 4 was off of a marksman from either JP or KelVJ, and the other one will play a mage or some hyper-aggressive player in the mid lane. That is also true with Onyx PH. Now, you have to take note. I think for Aura PH, they are overthinking this. I've seen comments, and this is some of those rare moments when I agree with some of the comments that I see online. Like, it was a simple fact that Aura PH, whatever they picked as a composition, they're not the most effective ones in the meta. Because if you look at Onyx PH, they have used Eudora, for example, and that's a hero that was probably used in MPL Indonesia, and it was prominent because of many things, and we can see why.
I get it, man, because there's some heroes right now who is really just going to the S tier.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
but no, I
Go
hate
ahead.
to cut you, but yeah, Aura PH, they went in for the A tier heroes,
Yeah.
while Onyx PH went in for the S tier heroes.
S tier, and then go in for 3 8 tiers. But
Yeah.
Onyx, it seems like, hey, we can pull off 8 tier heroes, man, because we're
That's
Aura
right.
PH, we're 3-time champions, and we know what we're doing. But then again, given the fact, the science of the game, the meta right now, if you have these S tier heroes, they will definitely win the trade-off
That's right.
every time you fight. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to game number 2. Here is the draft again. Onyx PH priority banning the Valier, and probably they will choose the Selena next, not giving it to Green.
This is important for the viewers to take note.
Uh-huh.
Our players, they have a choice. They always have a choice whether to if you are in a best of 3 series, for example, or in a best of 5, there's a coin toss that's happening, and whoever won the coin toss will pick first in game number 1, and they always choose sides. Now for game number 2, the team that got the blue side will not necessarily automatically be on the red side on the next game. It's their choice. Now it makes me think that Onyx PH might really want to be on the red side.
Yeah, they really want to get the 2 picks.
The 2 picks, exactly.
It
And the last
seems
pick.
like it seems like, hey, if they're going to be meta heroes that is open, you guys will get 1, but we will get 2
Yeah, exactly.
every time.
Yeah.
Every time they're picking their poison. Man, this is interesting.
Next level stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'll have to ask. I will ask. What are the choices? What are the choices for the teams?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Aura PH respecting the Khalid. So are we seeing another Yuzong opening for Aura PH, or are they gonna change it up?
Natalia is open for Aura PH, and that's a hero that Greed would want to get his hands on.
But Yuzong.
Yuzong instead.
Okay, they still love it.
Still love it.
Want to give it to Kiluwash every time.
Unfortunately, man, I'm gonna look at the stats. Kiluwash only played the Yuzhong once. The other one was on Rezio, that's also just 1 pick. And then KLVJ picked it twice and lost once. So, in total, Aura PH have only picked this 4 times, and then last time was the 5th, and it was just, it was 2 out of 5 when
Yeah.
it comes to win rate.
And there you go, 48%,
Yep, it's not that good.
as you are currently saying. So, yeah,
This is only the 3rd time that if ever Kiluwash will pick this up, this will only be the 3rd time for them to see that. So you can see the priority now for Onyx PH.
Yeah.
It's Yi and Shin over anything else. Roger is available, Ling is available, but instead Onyx PH, Yi and Shin.
they definitely want to give Wise that vision control every time. I think that Yishin Shin right now, if you're up against Onyx, you need to ban it early, like ban it the first 3, and make them uncomfortable to pick like other carries. Because Wise has this huge mastery of this hero.
Yep.
He has a tutorial video, by the way, which I actually watched, and because of that, I learned the passive of the Yishin Shin.
Yeah.
And that's how he masters it. He knows the limits of the hero. But I'm actually curious here. So now is Lar always the side lane priority of Onyx? Because earlier we've seen the Khalid,
Yeah.
and now we're seeing the Tams.
That might be the reason. But I also want to say that in this particular matchup, it's Aura versus Onyx. You want to get the best side laners as much as possible. Looking at this though, I love how Aura PH reacted. First, they snatched the Jawhead away from Onyx PH, right? And also they got the Natalia, a greedy hero, works wonders against jungler. but maybe not as much against Yi and Shin, because Yi and Shin even up against the Natalia.
Yeah.
Although, very nice answer here for Onyx PH. Don't let the stats fool you. This might be just a 47.7% win rate. But in the past few games of against when they are using the Baksha, and that's also true when they,
I agree with you. I think that the Natalia is to the Yishun Shin combination with the John. The Baksha. Why? Because you can match up with the with the speed, the rotations. Of the Natalia and the Jawhead. Plus, you can easily scout the Natalia every time you have this pack as well as the in your arsenal. I can therefore say that this Natalia, whoever's gonna use it, is going to have a hard time if you're our PH.
what I love about this is that Onyx PH also they know what they really prepared against RPH. Here's the thing: if you pick up Baksha or Thams, we saw in MPL Indonesia and even in the past few weeks that the main weaknesses of this hero is that particular hero, the 1-1. It's really a big problem. And even in the side lanes, there's not much pressure that you can put onto. So you're looking at Onyx PH now. They banned out both. They are forcing Aura PH to pick either Roger or Ling, and they feel that they are winning in that kind of matchup.
Or maybe Carry.
Carry could be good though.
Because
That's a nice one.
Carry is your best answer for the Baksha.
That's
That's
actually right.
Yeah, but I think they baiting the Roger the Carry. Because they don't want to deal with the Claude and 1-1 because both of those heroes can actually get out easily,
Yeah.
right? Unlike a Carry, well, you have the Phantom Step, but the Claude is slippier.
Yeah.
And the 1-1 has this dodge mechanic. So, yeah, I think that Onyx PH really did prepare for this game, like picking the Yishan Shin and respecting ban all of the marksmen.
So I got an inside information, Manji, that's all of the viewers out there. RPH, they won the coin toss.
Oh.
Coin toss.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
not coin toss. They won the coin toss. There's the nice Farsa pick for RPH, by the way. I want to say that RPH opted to go for blue side on game number 1.
Yep.
And then Onyx PH, since they have the ability to choose in game number 2, they are the ones to decide for the draft. They went in to get the red side once again. So that means that they are really prepared for this. They want to be the second pick, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe because they can react more. Right?
Yeah, and they have space. They have space to.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, to pick. Because look at this. You're the last pick. So our PH will pick 2. Oh, they're gonna pick 2, and then Onyx PH. Okay, so what is our counter? So is this the comeback of KLVJ?
The KLVJ cushion that we saw, right? It's so many buttons. Even the sticker and the recall is included in the combo.
Oh man!
But
I think it's not good with the back shot, dude.
Not really. I think
really.
you just go something like Ruby here for Onyx PH.
And they're fine. There you go.
And
I think that the cushion is a 50-50 pick.
yeah, it's
I would prefer the carry here.
this is bad.
A carry or a Lancelot, maybe.
Well, you know what? If they do pop off, I would say I can see Aura PH if they are confident with this. Maybe they can. I mean, looking at their composition, it's really bad when it comes to like a 5v5 matchup. In lane, it's really iffy, and you would honestly give it to Onyx PH because Ruby can trap the Gushan in the lane.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Gushan can outplay, but 90% of the time, if you're just doing everything correctly, and Yakno is gonna do everything correctly, right? So that's a problem.
Here's the sitch. If the Ruby survives the Gushan combo, the Gushan is done for.
Yeah.
Like the Ruby can just lifesteal his way.
And it's not like the Gushan when he jumps, he's not immune to crowd control whatsoever, and there's a ton of control for the Ruby. So Ruby's like, okay, come on, hit me. It's like Joker saying, hit me.
Hit me now. Hit me now. Is that your best shot? Oh my. Actually, it's going to be JP who is playing. the Gusion. I quite miss the
Whoa!
on.
Okay, so is this a mid lane Gusion? Because if that's the case, maybe that's better than the
Yeah,
side lane
rather
Gusion
than the
against
side-
Ruby.
Yeah. So it's up against the Yishan Chin, and the Gusion is great against marksman heroes. He can easily catch the Yishan Chin. Wise needs to be careful in using the traceless here because like JP can bait it out and then go for the dagger. Oh my glove!
It's scary though. It's scary. I still trust Aura PH. But they kind of put themselves in a spot wherein they are required to play the best Mobile Legends
Of their lives. Yeah, they have a lot of checkpoints here for
Exactly.
Aura. And looking at their battle spells, 3-man execute. They want to
Yeah.
go for D-Bites early, man. Look at this.
Yes.
Ejector in. Will they kill this? But
Oh.
the revitalize is gonna be enough for Jay to survive that one.
That is exactly why they opted to go for a triple execute lineup. Because they know that Basha is sustain type. Iacno on the Ruby is sustain type as well. And the times with Dilar!
Oh no!
No JP!
Oh, no.
My god.
Oh no!
That is
That is
bad.
yes. Happened
Remember back then?
to JP.
And you know what? It kind of gives me a little bit of some how do I say this? Some backstory in this Gusion, because if you recall, Onyx PH, they have Coach Rio. Rio is the Gusion god of the Philippines,
Yeah.
the championship Gusion, right? He knows the matchups. He knows what can pressure this guy.
It's definitely, it's now a bad day, man, for JP. That is the first buff of the Gusion. You will, especially if you're gonna have this boots right now, you definitely want to spam your sword spikes, your Shadow Blade Slaughter. And with this, the damage for Onyx PH to go aggressive even though Aura has the executes.
And that is really scary for him, being the recipient of the first blood. And you know what? Other scary stuff.
Yeah, what?
From October 27th to November 13th, log in the game and participate in the Tricksters Village event and get Halloween candies for a treasure spin. Each spin will cost 4 Halloween candies, and you can get up to 7 each day for completing the task.
Wow.
If you get 10 spins, that's a guaranteed. There is the Hammer Giant
Wow.
skin.
What a sweet treat for all of you guys. As Jay is now falling low, that they're not gonna pop it. I think it's on cooldown right now. As Onyx PH is now at level 5.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, for the JP,
Oh, they know because of the Mountain Chakra usage. They know that JP is taking this bubble.
it is like
The worst.
The Ling of Season 3.
That is right. That is right. If you take away the purple buff,
And then you're
you're
fine.
done.
Yeah,
But then again, back in MPL Season 3, you have 2 purple buffs.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
They can
It's at
steal
the
that
Ling
away.
of Season 4 maybe. But meanwhile, thought about talking Season 4 because they're going to have team fight here in the mid as Lar will finish off Creed, and of course Kiluwash is the only one left behind as Onyx PH will pummel 2 heroes, stomping them to the ground. Onyx is now getting immune. That's it.
I was gonna say earlier that the goal isn't that mad when it comes to the economy, but the fact is, it's not equally spread for Aura Page. For Onyx Page, they went in and took advantage of their reach and then take the turtle. Now they're cheating by a lot.
And there you go. That's the Victor combo, the stun, the Gusion damage, and now Greed is requesting for a pause. So here we go. A counter kill for Aura PH.
You gotta have.
What can they make out of this?
Well, definitely they can secure their buffs. That's one thing, secure their farm. Although they have already secured their own buffs. Maybe they can look for other places to get the farm. And the fact is Marsa being dead means that you can push at least a lane because that is Feather Nurse like that's not available. Maybe they're not feeling that confident because Iaknu and Dilar can just collapse in the mid lane and just destroy their plans. But maybe in this game they can at least. However, the problem I have with this Gusion is that it is paired up with a Roger. At this point, their power spikes do not match in a way that they cannot take advantage of kills because they cannot push. Can you imagine a Roger, under-farmed Roger, and an under-farmed Gusion pushing your lanes? Definitely not.
Yeah, you can't really get the towers there early. Maybe a Roger can, but a Gusion can't. And that's a problem with the Gusion. If you get delayed by just like a minute, or if you get killed, man. Especially if you're up against pros, man, they will know that you don't have any damage.
Yes.
And they will just fight you head on. They will just gangster you.
Yeah. And if you have played enough, you'll know. And also, by the way, you can press that button on the top of your screen and look at the attributes, right?
Yeah.
That's also one indication for you to know if they have enough damage or not. But I think pro players rely more on the fields.
Yeah. And this is the problem because Gusion builds, sometimes you build a sustained type of magic damage, or sometimes you build burst. And you always prefer burst so that you can get online early, right? Okay.
Little bit of a misplay from Wise.
Okay, so Reflexia with steal there as Breathe will pay for his life, I mean, just to get the purple. And Jay is fighting too. There you go, Reflexia.
So tanky.
Yep, JP, there you go. No damage whatsoever, even though he has the orange buff. You have to. Oh my Venus just Floor! Oh my
Mr. Flawless.
Mr. Flawless with the flawless flank from behind. JP, another death.
Oh, look at the Yakto actually.
Okay.
Is right. And that's a heavy outpour, Magic Peach. We can see this many times, and it's wonderful to see.
This is what you call the Onic Magic,
The
bro.
Onic Magic, indeed.
The magic triangle. And in the edges of the map, the JP actually, there you go, slowly but surely. Still actually okay, because he has the Calamity Reaper now. In 5
Oh
minutes.
no, kill DJ found the map by the Mountain Shocker. And this is what I like about Wise, the way he uses the Mountain Shocker as the
MS,
engine.
yeah.
He always uses it to get into that moment where they can scout out their opponents, not when it comes to team fights.
It's all about the vision here. For
Exactly.
Wise, he will proc the passive, going in with the Bloods, Kilowash with the Dragon Tail out. So, back to what I'm saying, man. And probably because of the mystery shop, JP is having no problems here, right? He still has the Calamity Reaper, so we can probably dish out a good amount of damage.
Yeah. Is farm. Yeah. That's how you know that they are so well coordinated.
And now they know JP will being Onic PH. They did their research. They worked night and day, worked hard, canceled out all of the TikTok videos. Kansas lead. Huge lead right now for Onic PH with a mega kill. That is Jackson coming in from Reflexia. Jay is now at half health. There's the Black Dragon. Knock up coming in. No more damage whatsoever for the side of Aura. Laura with the ball content Inferno. Venus flying without wings, putting in a lot of damage, and Wise freely taking a freebie tower in the top lane. Onic PH just owning Aura PH right now.
Onyx is on it's just 8 minutes in. And look at us saying that this might drag on, saying that it will be close. But Onyx PH says, no. I like this replay, by the way, Jeanette. So the replay, before that play happened, when Onyx PH actually, they dispersed the moment them to die is if they clumped this. Oi, the cushion went out and they just dispersed. And there's all of a sudden no damage from RPH.
No way, Jose. Man,
This is amazing display from Onyx PH.
amazing display. And look at this.
Onyx Magic.
Onyx Magic Wise is now at 67,000 gold. They're now chasing Greed though. Oh. Welcome back to the club, Greed, says Onyx PH. That is the championship Natalia there, man. But Onyx PH, they've read all of the tricks
Exactly. Onyx
in
PH,
the book.
they have woken up from their past nightmares, right?
Oh my god.
Both the Natalia as well as the Ling, they were the nightmares of Onyx PH from before.
And the playbook is not working.
Oh,
I'm an inside coming in from Yaktu. That is of course set up to kill from Thor. Greed will just run away, but Yaktu will be the one falling down for Onyx PH. JP as well. Let's see what can the king KLBJ put in to this game. 3-12 is the score. Wow, Onyx PH. I can't believe my eyes here, Wolf. I can't believe my eyes.
Oh, you and me both, man. I did not think that Onyx PH would be this strong right now, but they are looking like they are so prepared against Aura PH. And Great is just gonna cut the waves out at this moment because that's the only thing that I can do. That's actually big, but Jay already knows this. Jay,
This is
just gonna be able to shove this lane, and if you look at Onyx PH, that's the first turret that they will ever lose in this game.
Onyx PH walking back to memory lane. This
Oh,
is
no.
the reason that
Oh,
they
no.
lost the championship last season.
Oh, no.
But the blades, it did not proc. But okay, Wise actually will go down as JP and company will back off. Jay is now falling low as well. The king chasing, scratching, bouncing, everything, crawling back to love. Iato also falling low. Oh no! Aura fire is now burning. Here comes
It's
the
not over.
dragon form. Catching two. Repletia from behind. Pops the ejector, but he will not catch the queen as Lar is the main target here. KLBJ from the back. Repletia, another proc of the ejector. JP and company, they're here. They're setting up for the Lord. 3 heroes are now down for Onyx PH. It's still not over.
It's still not
Shadow
over.
Blade Slaughter. That is, of course, the proc, the kills, shut down the king, the young king, KLBJ with 401. It's not over till it's
not over, Jay.
Okay, Jay. There you
Okay.
go. Nice shield coming in from Repletia. KLBJ and company. Greedy here for the silence. And there you go. It's now,
Oh my god.
it's now at peace. Both of the teams will just disengage, but Aura PH coming back from a massive economy
Oh,
deficit.
man. JP, man, this is probably the reason why they had the go signal to pick up this cushion, because he plays this well. And if you think about it, even in the late game, even when you're down, just get the good set of items, land your combo, you'll get the kill onto anybody. I would say that Onyx PH, that was definitely a mistake on their part that they were separated from each other, because no matter what happens, if you're looking at Aura PH, they have a lineup with 3 executes.
Yeah.
There is a kill potential no matter what.
So Onyx PH, they need to be careful with their positioning there
That's
because
right. That's
I think Greed set up a trap there.
Exactly.
They were too greedy for greed.
Exactly.
And they don't want to make the mistake once again of Greed defeating them with this Natalia.
100%. Looking at this, I'm not sure if this is the best decision. You have to be careful, man. You're Onyx PH. Greed is actually in here. It's gonna be a problem. Refresh is here as well. They will have to reset now.
What is the setup?
Oh, no,
Wise!
the combo!
Oh no, from behind! Wise falling low, but you will use the trace. Let's get out. Greed is down. 35 seconds. Here comes Kilua spinning. The dragon pops. The dragon tail. KLBJ and Reflection JP. He is here. Who is the main target? Shadow Blade coming in. That is Wise, of course. That is, of course, Sword Spike. Incandescence out. But, of course, the Queen with the last hit. And the only one remaining will be Reflection. Onyx close and probably will secure this Lord.
Oh, definitely, they have Dilar. That was a very nice play from Aura PH, I would say. Their combo, they have Natalia, they have the unstoppable force that's a stun into a silence so that you will be able to control one. But look at this, Reflection trying to survive. He can't.
Can't
He
do
just
this.
can't. Or can he?
Can he though?
Can he?
Doesn't
No.
have the damage. His best.
Tried his best.
But all I can say is that
But the King's there. Diakno is here, and he actually made a great play to stop the other members of RPH from running away because RPH, they are already all in when they wanted to go for the kill on Wise, and they were successful in doing so. But because they were all in, they were easily punished by the King's there. This is Arubi. Arubi is a great hero to punish all in type of strategies.
definitely, man, the I'm offended setup,
Exactly.
which I think Onyx already has a master of, as you know what? You can't really auction Jin, especially if he has the trace to this.
Exactly.
Because it has a... can they finish the game though? Yakno here. KBJ is falling low. He's now inside the pig. But the Lord, they finish it. Oh, no, it's close for a comfort. It is a 2-0. 2 words, ladies and gentlemen. Onyx Magic.
Onyx Magic in the air. My goodness. I mean, there have been slip-ups in this game. I would say, though, that Aura PH, they have shown signs of their good place, of the championship form that they have. But unfortunately, their draft, it's not working in their favor. They can
It's
get
not.
pickups. But if the advantage goes in favor of Aura PH, it's gonna snowball. Of Onyx PH, I mean, it's gonna snowball. Man, I think we have to make a video of looking at how the triangle offense was always set up by the side of Onyx PH. I think that's the Onyx magic that they're doing. And I don't think that you can ever rehearse that. That is just about their connection. That is just how they have mastered this type of lineup. And who would have thought that it's just, man, it's just an hour or so.
I can't believe
And we're already at match point.
And I can't believe what I'm seeing, man. Is this the fall of Aura? Is this
The end of Aura.
Aura? Of the
End of an aura.
Okay, let's do
We
that
can do
again.
it.
Is it the end of an aura? It seems like it is.
But